Hi, this is Nilus Mattive for Money Markets TV. Emerging markets are becoming ever more important to some of the world's largest companies. Case in point, Procter & Gamble. It recently lowered its outlook for the fourth quarter, blaming slow growth in developed markets and unfavorable foreign exchange rates. Overall, international sales now account for more than a third of P&G's total business. But Procter & Gamble is just one example. Using data from all the S&P 500 companies that share full reporting information, we find that more than 45% of their total sales now come from overseas markets. Take the world's largest retailer, Walmart. Its international sales rose 12% last year to $109 billion. That was about a quarter of the company's total revenue. Or what about General Electric? More than half of its sales come from foreign units. And GE has major operations in Europe, China, Russia, India, and many other parts of the developing world. Even American auto companies greatly depend on overseas customers. More than 50% of Ford's revenues come from foreign markets. General Motors, through a partnership, is one of China's largest car makers. Obviously, the most important emerging markets are still the four BRIC countries: Brazil, Russia, India, and China. But the smartest U.S. companies continue to look for new opportunities in much smaller countries, too. According to KPMG, U.S. firms booked 126 deals involving at least a 5% stake in a foreign company during the second half of last year. That compares to just 81 similar deals by companies based in European countries. So where are these new emerging markets? Mostly in Central America and the Caribbean, which accounted for 25 deals. India was also active, with 22 deals in the last 6 months of 2011. Brazil had 14, and other South American countries accounted for another 14. Surprisingly, China was the coldest spot on the list, with just 12 major M&A agreements. Another intriguing region, Africa, didn't make the list, telling me that it hasn't even begun to reach its potential yet. Now, if you want to get an investment stake in faster-growing parts of the world, you can simply buy shares of some of America's biggest and best companies. And most of these firms tend to be the kind of diversified dividend-paying companies that I recommend anyway. But you can also look at buying foreign blue-chip companies that may have even greater exposure to certain parts of the world. They often understand the intricacies of Asia or Latin America better than US or European firms, and in many cases, have special relationships with regional political leaders that give them home court advantages. Their stocks can also kick off solid dividends, which is why I often recommend them as a great way to round out an income portfolio. Finally, you can also consider smaller companies that operate in a particularly fast-growing or rapidly emerging economy. These are the kinds of stocks that often get snapped up by the bigger players or turn into huge growth stories on their own. And if you really want to beef up your exposure to international markets, you can even pursue all three of these strategies at the same time. I'm Nilus Mattive for Money Markets TV. Thanks for watching.